I always try to talk with inmates on death row about life. How should they have conducted their lives, and how should we conduct our lives?
Because you feel that they will have something to tell us.
They have to tell us something important, and what is it comes down, it boils down, family, small family values.
The Paul Holdengraber Show, filmed at Andaz, 5th Avenue.
How to educate your children, the way you educate your children, how you raise them, with the attention to them. They do something wrong, and they know you will stick to them. Of course, they have to be corrected, they have to be put back on the right path, but you would never abandon them. You would never not defend them until the last moment. And small family values, it's very easy to denounce them as being belittle them as being bourgeois or middle class. No.
Yeah, I
essential.
agree.
And when you talk to men or women also on death row, it always comes down to that. And it's very, very striking, very remarkable. And seeing the world, how they see the world, how they experience the world, the incredible value that we can open and close a door, walk out, that we use our washing machine for laundry.
It's incredible that you mention open and close the door, because I'm thinking in that context of little Dieter learns how to fly. He needs to fly. Yes. And that extraordinary scene of little Dieter learns to fly. But now that you mention the
which
washing...
was staged, but it hits a deeper inner truth of Dieter Dengler.
You see, this really seems strange to most people, but to me it's very important. It denotes freedom to be able to open or close a door. When I was a prisoner, that I couldn't open the door, and later on when I was dying, those big doors in the sky would open up. And so most people don't realize how important it is and the privilege that we have to be able to open or close a door. So anyway, that's the habit I got into, and so be it.
And for him, opening and closing doors meant absolute freedom, and we stage something where he opens and closes doors
the door over and over again.
Yes, yeah.
But also opening the door, not to speak too metaphorically, but there's something, we were talking about that 2-inch glass window. There's something in your attempt to somehow break open that cell, to give these prisoners, these inmates, the possibility, and you focus your attention on this, both in this film and in so many others of yours, in the world of dreams. I mean,
in their fantasy.
I remember the Rainer Maria Rilke line where he says, even if you were in a prison, you could still think about your childhood. You could still think about other matters. And in the case of Skinner, one of the other inmates, Hank's. Tell us a little bit about Hank Skinner, and I'd like you to focus the attention on a moment which I think is extraordinary, where he talks about, you have him talk about his last meal, and the last meal sounds
he describes
incredible in kind of Rabelais kind of way.
Yes.
But the last meal, which to my mind seems rather biblical, and then the whole notion also of what he dreams about when he dreams about food that is not in his last meal, and he talks about an avocado and
a tequila.
And
yes,
tequila.
He would, and he says, I mean, jocularly, he says, I could kill for a tequila and an avocado, and push the button of my washing machine because it starts to spin, and to watch this, what sort of an ecstasy that is. And all of a sudden we look at our washing machine, the most banal of household items, and it's of delirious beauty for him. And of course he shows that for 17 years on death row, he has to wash his own jumpsuit, and he shows his hand, how his little fingers got crooked from kneading the laundry, and the joy and exhilaration of a washing machine, or from going into a supermarket, and he would join 3-4 carts together, he would chain them together like a train and go through a supermarket. Give me $1,000, and I would just reach left and right. It's not consumerism, so it's just the joy of having access to the world and acquisition of things. It's not commercialism.
No,
it's acquisition. You can touch a person. You can touch the detergent. You can touch the avocado and put it in your cart. What a privilege! What a joy it is!
What a privilege to be actually touched, because I remember in one of the death row sequences, you have this extraordinary moment where one of the inmates, I don't remember which one, says that in 7 or 8 years he hasn't felt rain.
Yeah, since 2001, I asked him, when did you feel rain on you? Well, and he starts thinking it was in 2001. For the last time he felt rain on him. And what a wonderful privilege is it that we step out in the street and there's rain on us. So, and they start to see the world differently. And in Skinner's case, who was 23 minutes away from execution, what happens is this. Death row is in Livingston, near Livingston, Texas, at Polunsky unit. But there is no death chamber. There's no execution chamber, so they transport the inmates 43 miles to Huntsville, to the state prison in Huntsville, to the Walls unit. And there's a death chamber in the gurney.
And you film that corridor.
Because he speaks about being shackled. I mean, they are shackled in a cage, in a metal cage. Police officers and guards armed to their teeth inside the car and outside in pursuit cars, and they tell him they're very open and very blunt, and they say, Mr. Skinner, we have to tell you something. If somebody tries to stop this convoy, and if somebody tries to free you, and we come to the conclusion it's not just a traffic accident, if we come to the conclusion that somebody is trying to free you, we are under orders to shoot you on the spot. So those who try to free you will free a dead body. So that's how he travels now. And for the first time in 17 years, he sees trees, an abandoned gas station, and he says, and it's very remarkable, it all looked like Israel to me. It all looked like the Holy Land. And of course, that was a very remarkable moment where I followed this 42 or 43 miles, just looking, where is the Holy Land? And strangely enough, everything looks magnificent. The drabbest, forlorn countryside in Texas all of a sudden looks magnificent. It's like and everything out there is like the Holy Land.
Holy Land, heightened land. It's heightened also by the notion that this is someone who has a present without a future. It's those 23 minutes that remain.
In a way, yes, but of course it is how we encounter this world in everyday life. And I remember you took me into the underbelly of the library here just across the street, New York Public Library. We followed the cables for a transmission onto a screen for an overflow crowd. And these corridors and the pipes, the heating pipes and electricity cables, and then some garbage somehow barely concealed in a corner. And you apologized. Yes, this is the ugly underbelly. And I said, no, this is magnificent. We followed the cable, and we could follow it to the very end, and we could follow back through this labyrinth like Ariadne's thread, and we could find our way back out into the open. And we followed the electrical cable, and that was magnificent, because I knew we are not lost, and we can return following the cables. Magnificent. Unbelievable privilege.
I got a place to go, in the morning, going to work. I got a place to go when I ride.
Film that Andaz, Fifth Avenue.